Hey guys, happy Friday. I've been taking a closer look at the Rams-Cardinals game, and what I found is that the Cardinals more lost that game than the Rams won it. There's a couple big mistakes they made. Number one was they turned the ball over too many times, which always puts you at a disadvantage. But also what we saw was that the Cardinals did not do well scoring in the red zone. They put too many field goals on the board when they needed touchdowns. On the way to doing that, however, Carson Palmer did expose some weaknesses and vulnerabilities in the Rams defense. And that's what I want to look at. So let's unpack the series. Okay guys, here's a little snapshot of 1st and 10, and of course we know when you're facing a formidable defensive front, you can sum up the way to nullify that pass rush with a simple phrase: get the ball out fast. That could be by running the ball. You can run through it, or you can quickly throw over it, and that's exactly the plan that the Arizona Cardinals had in place in this game, and it worked quite well. This picture here, what you see is just a quick handoff off tackle, and Chris Johnson may not be as fast as he used to be, but with just a little bit of a gap, they easily have Chris Johnson into the second level. He has one guy to meet, doesn't have a real good backside block here, and so he has one guy to beat. That tackle's missed, and this ends up being a 12-yard play. What you don't see is that the Rams brought the safety up into the box late as this play progressed, and the run with Chris Johnson came off the opposite side, and so that pretty much nullified the safety in this play. I think this looks good for the combination of Eddie Lacy and James Starks. I hope that we continue to have this nice balanced use of those two running backs, both of which I think could have success against the Rams defensive front. This is an aggressive pursuing. They're fast, and we'll see in a few plays exactly what you don't want to try and do against this defensive front. But I think both Eddie Lacy and James Starks can have quite a bit of success in this game if we just feed them. So first of all, I kind of slipped up in that first frame. I said you nullify an aggressive pass rush by running through it, passing over it. Don't necessarily mean they're not going to have necessarily a pass rush on first down, but what I mean is an aggressive front like the Rams have, of course. So the Cardinals ran through it on first down and got 12 yards. And now you can see here, this is 1st and 10, and guess what? They run the exact same play, right through off tackle. This time they only gain a yard, and that's okay. That's what they're doing, is establishing the run. The Cardinals will run the ball the next 3 plays. So they got first down, they'll run it again off tackle here, and then run again to the other side. What they're doing is establishing the run and testing the Rams' defensive front. One thing I noticed is that the Rams defense keeps shading the safety over toward Larry Fitzgerald's side. I wasn't sure if it was just him going to the strong side, but when the tight end moved, the safety didn't move much, so I thought that they had him kind of keying on Larry Fitzgerald, but we'll see. That's the kind of situation that when you do that against the Packers have too much depth at wide receiver for that kind of a strategy to really work, and to nullify Aaron Rodgers and his wide receiver core. So here we have first and 10 again, and the Cardinals only gain 1 yard, but they're testing the Rams defense. So the Cardinals test the run and end up in 3rd and 7. This is probably going to happen to the Packers too, even though I do give the nod. If I had to choose between Chris Johnson and David Johnson, running backs, and Eddie Lacy and James Starks, I would take James Starks and Eddie Lacy. So, maybe this is a 3rd and 4 for the Packers, but we'll see. At any rate, what the Cardinals decide to do is go ahead and just do a quick pass, just a little screen pass out to David Johnson, and he takes a big hit, but is able to get the first down. And again, they're throwing over the pressure, but they're expecting the running back, and I would expect for the Packers, wide receivers as well, to get yards after the catch, to make that one person miss. One thing I do want to note about the Rams defense, they're a hard-hitting, high-powered defense, but at times they are fundamentally unsound. I have seen this Rams defense make arm tackles and miss tackles because their fundamentals are sometimes lacking. So the Packers can take advantage of this, especially with a wide receiver core that is known for yards after catch. And I expect guys like Randall Cobb and guys like Ty Montgomery to have a good game. And of course, then you got James Jones. This Packer offense could be a real headache for what is a quite good Rams defense, but does show some vulnerabilities. So on 3rd and 7, Arizona Cardinals get another first down. So then one of the key plays on this drive happens, and that is the pass interference call against Janoris Jenkins. He's face guarding here, but I wanted to show you this snapshot quick because this is an interesting play to me for one reason. You remember James Jones in the Chicago game? Let's flash back to that for just a minute. Yeah, this is week 1 with James Jones just barely off the plane in Green Bay. And he comes in, and basically we have a play that is in the same area of the end zone. The defender is playing it pretty much the same, although he actually has his eyes on the ball. But in this case, the difference is, while there's no pass interference called, I don't think, James Jones collects the ball for a touchdown. This is a difference that the Rams are going to have to deal with early and often against the Green Bay Packers. So this is a little bit of a blurry picture, but we'll explain it in a minute. Let me catch you up on what happened in between. So with the penalty, the Cardinals had 1st and goal on the 2-yard line. They decided to run the ball laterally with pitch outs to Chris Johnson, try to get the edge against the Rams defense. That's a bad idea. Anytime the running back's hips are facing the sideline, that's a problem. We need to have the running back's hips facing the goal line. If the Packers decide to try to run out and then go up, they're going to have problems. If we run up and then try to break out, we will possibly be successful against this aggressive Rams defense. So the Cardinals made that mistake. I hope that we don't. But even with that, at the very end, David Johnson has a chance out of the flats to make a catch right here. All he's got to do is catch the ball, and it's an easy touchdown, and he drops the ball. So again, this is another reason I think the Packers will be successful against the Rams, is because our running backs coming out of the backfield will make the catches that are necessary when the team needs them, and this would have been a score for the Cardinals. So again, at this point, what they end up doing is kicking a field goal, getting 3 points instead of 7, and falling that much further behind. Now, we know that St. Louis is not a juggernaut in terms of offensive scoring, and so opportunities like this, the Packers will have to capitalize on. And I think that they will. And if they do, the Packers will have great success against the Rams.